WWE President Nick Khan is confronted by a fan about high ticket prices for WWE events. It raises the question, is TKO ruining WWE with over commercialization of professional wrestling? Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with WWE President Nick Khan being confronted by a fan about high ticket prices for WWE shows. Now, WWE President Nick Khan was asked about the company's ticket prices while at Universal Studios for the Wyatt 6 Halloween Horror Nights exhibit. Now, Khan was questioned about the price of WWE tickets by a TikTok user called AlexanderRose_TV, who noted he loved the product but wasn't a fan of the price of tickets. Now, Khan initially joked, "They're too cheap, you're saying," before noting that he understood the fans' concern about the steep prices. This is the video in question.
Excuse me? Are you Nick Khan?
Yes, sir.
You are, sir?
Yeah.
I'm a huge WWE fan.
Did you go to the Wyatt?
Yes, I did. I was
What'd you
actually
think?
second man. Is it okay if I record? I'm live on Twitch.
Man,
Okay, yeah, that's cool. No problem.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you, though, man. Loving the product right now, everything that's going on. Looking forward to the ESPN and everything. You guys are doing a great job.
Thanks, man.
I'm going to be honest, though, the prices are a little crazy, but it's great. It's great.
They're too cheap, you're saying?
No, they're a little too steep. At least for me. That's just me. That's just me. But I still love the product, man. I've been watching for years, so thank you for everything you do, man, and everything. And the Wyatt 6 Maze, that was great. That was really great. So Bray Wyatt would definitely be proud, man. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry.
Oh my God.
What?
So, you see the video there in question regarding these ticket prices. Now, the cost of WWE tickets has dramatically increased since the WWE-UFC merger under TKO Group Holdings in 2023. WrestleMania 41 tickets were the most expensive in show history, initially on sale beginning at $450 and above $10,000 for seats at the ringside area. For comparison, tickets for 2019's WWE WrestleMania 35 range from $35 to $1,000. Even WWE superstar Randy Orton admitted he was embarrassed about the price of WrestleMania 41 tickets ahead of the show, but ticket prices have remained high since April's event, including for recent house shows in the United Kingdom and the Clash in Paris PLE in France. TKO COO Mark Shapiro noted in May that he saw, quote, tremendous upside on ticket pricing, end quotes, for WWE events. What are your thoughts on the ticket prices for WWE shows? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Before we get on to the next news story, a reminder, this video is brought to you in collaboration with all of our affiliates. You can find them in the video description below. Also, they'll be pinned in the comments section, and you'll see them throughout this video in the sidebar. You can get yourself some great products, you can save yourself some money, and you can also find another way to support the channel, so be sure to check them out. We appreciate them and appreciate all of your support as always. Now let's talk about Cody Rhodes. Will he be defending the WWE Championship at the upcoming WrestlePalooza PLE on ESPN? With Cody Rhodes currently filming for the upcoming Street Fighter movie, an update has emerged on his impending WWE return. As previously noted, the undisputed WWE Champion is currently in Australia filming as Guile for the upcoming live-action movie. Details have now emerged for the return of Cody Rhodes in WWE, with the latest episode of Wrestling Observer Radio revealing the plans. While it was previously reported that Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship was a planned main event for WrestlePalooza, a new update has revealed uncertainty surrounding these plans. Originally, it was reported that Rhodes' filming commitments would see him finished by September 20th. However, Dave Meltzer has now revealed that Rhodes defending at WrestlePalooza is up in the air, stating, quote, Cody Rhodes is scheduled now for WrestlePalooza against Drew McIntyre for the championship. The autumn match was going to take place first, but they didn't know if they would do it on the pay-per-view. I know the Cody thing was up in the air. I presume it was because they didn't know for a fact that he'd be done filming for Street Fighter by the 20th. With little time between the previously end of his filming commitments and WrestlePalooza itself, Meltzer would go on to reveal the other plan for McIntyre, stating, quote, that's what I was told in the middle of the week. If he's back, he'll be on the card, and if he's not, it's going to be Orton and Drew. But yeah, it's Cody and Drew. Now, announced for the September 12th episode of WWE SmackDown is Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, with the official listing calling the encounter an epic grudge match. So we'll have to wait and see what happens as it pertains to WrestlePalooza for that match on SmackDown this Friday. Street Fighter is set for an October 16th, 2026 release date, with Paramount distributing the legendary production as part of a new 3-year deal. It's Raw tonight, and it's going to feature the first appearance from AJ Lee in over a decade on the Red brand. For the first time in over 10 years, AJ Lee is scheduled for WWE Raw. On Sunday, Raw General Manager Adam Pearce announced via social media that Lee will be live on Monday's show, which is scheduled for the First Serve Forum in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Quote, "Everybody saw what took place on Friday, and now, for the first time in more than a decade, AJ Lee will be live in the house on the flagship," Pearce said. 2 singles matches have also been booked for tonight's show. AJ Styles versus El Grande Americano and Lara Valkyria versus Raquel Rodriguez are now scheduled. Also, Pearce revealed that both Jimmy and Jey Uso will be live. He said, quote, "The Usos, in my opinion, future first ballot Hall of Famers. They will be in the Brew City, and what will they have to say? Let's find out together." Now, speaking of AJ Lee, we've got more details on her epic return to WWE this past Friday on SmackDown. Former WWE Divas Champion AJ Lee returned to WWE on Friday for the first time in a decade. Lee appeared on SmackDown to back up her husband, former WWE World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk. The couple will face World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and Women's Intercontinental Champion Becky Lynch at WWE WrestlePalooza on September 20th in Indianapolis in a veritable battle of all-star married couples. According to Fightful Select, AJ Lee's return was kept secret, much like Brock Lesnar. She was not listed on the rundown for Friday's SmackDown. A number of talent who were not scheduled for the show attended, and AJ's return was what many called a curtain sellout, meaning the locker room crowded around the curtains to the arena, as well as any TV monitors to catch a glimpse of the former WWE Divas Champion's return. While the length of Lee's recently signed contract is now known, she is reportedly not in WWE for a one-off, as likely indicated by her handling of the Women's Intercontinental Championship bout. Lee hasn't been in WWE since the night after WrestleMania 31 in 2015, which at the time appeared to be her in-ring retirement. Lee returned to the wrestling business as part of WOW Women of Wrestling, but she was not an active competitor in the promotion, rather an executive producer as well as a color commentator. WWE WrestlePalooza is set to take place on September 20th, the same day as AEW All Out at Indianapolis Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The show will not only mark the return of AJ Lee, but also Brock Lesnar, who will face John Cena at the event as part of Cena's retirement tour. And we spoke about El Grande Americano wrestling on Raw tonight, but last night we actually saw a bit of a change in the appearance of the masked luchador. There's been a big change regarding El Grande Americano as he had a match for AAA in Mexico last night. First portrayed by Chad Gable before he took time off for surgery, the role of El Grande Americano has been played by Ludwig Kaiser since the end of June. Whilst he's been a heel in WWE, the Americano character has actually been very popular with fans in Mexico and has made appearances for AAA regularly as part of the WWE/AAA crossovers. That included last night's AAA event, although there was a notable big change to Americano's presentation. Rather than the usual red, white and blue ring gear and mask based on the colours of the USA, Americano had a new mask and gear last night. The new attire is instead based on the Mexican flag with the colours of green, white and red, as well as some gold on the mask. You can see an actual photo from the show on the screen right there. It remains to be seen whether or not this is something that's going to carry over to WWE TV or if it's just something for Mexico shows given Americano's popularity there. Now, Americano picked up the win against El Fiscal last night. After the match, there was a segment with Americano, El Hijo del Vikingo via video, and via video Dominic Mysterio, which ended with Americano singing with the crowd. So we'll have to wait and see if this is going to be a change moving forward on WWE TV too. Now, fans that went to an NXT live event got a bit of a surprise in the form of Rusev. Days removed from his good old-fashioned Donnybrook match victory over Sheamus at Clash in Paris, Rusev flew to Spartanburg, South Carolina for a special NXT live event appearance. At the September 5th show, Rusev took on former NXT North American champion Ricky Saints, with Saints emerging victorious over the Bulgarian Brute. Nevertheless, Rusev seemed excited about the match as he wrote, quote, "I saw a Saint on the card, so I had to stop by" on X. Now for Rusev, that event marked his first NXT-related appearance since September 25th, 2014, when he faced Jack Swagger in a dark match following that night's respective television tapings. His last televised NXT match took place 3 months earlier when he lost to Adrian Neville, now known in AEW as Pac, via disqualification. Rusev returned to NXT action in North Charleston on September 6th, this time in a 6-man tag involving himself, reigning NXT North American champion Ethan Page, Jasper Troy, Hank Walker, Tank Ledger, and NXT champion Obafemi. The latter 3 gained victory over the former. Now, let's talk about Ronda Rousey. She's been talking a lot recently about her WWE run. Naturally, it's led to speculation on if the former WWE Women's Champion could return to the promotion at some point. Now, Rousey hasn't been in WWE since SummerSlam 2023 when she lost to Shayna Baszler in an MMA rules match. She competed in ROH later in the year, teaming with Marina Shafir against Athena and Billy Starks. Speaking to Raj Prashad of Yahoo's Uncrowned, Rousey spoke about her WWE run and the possibility of returning. Quote, "It was a lot of needless anxiety and things like that, and the whole company was just a chaotic shit show on the inside, and then they ended up dropping all my friends," Rousey said, noting her former stablemates Shayna Baszler, Marina Shafir, and Jessamine Duke. Quote, "So I really have no reason to go back. I wanted to do a run with the 4 Horsewomen, and I never got to do that, and now I feel like I've already accomplished everything that I wanted to do in WWE, and all that's really left for me is to go there and have fun with my friends, and none of my friends are there anymore." Now, Baszler was released by WWE earlier this year, while Shafir is signed to AEW, and Duke has been away from wrestling since her WWE release in 2021. Now, let's talk about Christian Cage. He's spoken about his current AEW run and what he's calling the greatest run of his career. Christian Cage says the last few years have been the greatest of his career. Cage debuted for AEW at Revolution on March 7, 2021. Since then, he's won the TNT title twice, the Trios title once, and defeated Kenny Omega for the Impact World Championship. During a recent interview with Yahoo Sports, Cage said it's been the best run he's ever had. Quote, "This is, without a doubt, the greatest, the best run," Cage said. "Did I see it happening this late? No, but it did. And like I said, when I got my career back after being gone for 7 years, I wasn't coming back to do the greatest hits tour. I was coming back to be the best. And that's the kind of standards that I hold myself to. Anything less than that, you would not see me step foot in that ring." Now, earlier in the interview, Cage spoke about being the leader of the patriarchy and the line he said to Jack Perry, which kicked off the story, saying he had no clue it would go as viral as it did. Quote, "No, I had no clue," Cage said. "It was a deeply personal line, and I was expecting a reaction. I don't know if I expected it to go as viral as it did. When something like that happens, you just have to jump on it," referring to Christian's hatred of people's fathers, something that he continues to talk about to this day. Christian is now scheduled to team with Adam Copeland against FTR at AEW All Out in their hometown of Toronto. He says that even though he and Copeland have agreed to help each other with their respective rivalries, his focus is still on winning the AEW World Championship. Quote, "Cope and I agreed to help each other with our issues. Part of the agreement was we'll get through this, and there's no promises beyond that," Cage said. "We'll see where we get to at the end of this. For me as well, at the end of the day, I love collecting titles. I love collecting gold. So in any form of that, I'll always welcome, always accept that challenge. But at the end of the day, I still want my name in the books as the AEW World Champ by the time it's all said and done." Ric Flair, he's had some interesting comments about chops, specifically ones from Gunther. Ric Flair perfected the knife-edge chop during his heyday, battering opponents' chests with his signature strike. In modern times, Gunther has earned praise for the beating he puts on opponents with his chops. Speaking to Escapist magazine, Flair was asked about Bret Hart's comments regarding Gunther's chops and how Bret always hated chops. Quote, "Oh, I agree with Bret as far as being one of the greatest technical performers of all time. That goes without saying. But Bret never liked to get smacked, and that's the way I worked. We laugh about it now, but he just hated getting chopped. But for me, with someone like Ricky Steamboat, you must have seen our matches. I hit Steamboat as hard as I could. I hit Sting as hard as I could, and the people could feel it, especially when you're out on the floor. I even watched a match between me and The Rock recently. I was smacking the hell out of The Rock. He didn't care. For Gunther, I haven't watched him enough, but what they find fascinating about Gunther is his look. He has a tremendous look, because when he wrestled Pat McAfee was 10 times the athlete that he is, but Gunther has a great look. His facials are great and all that, but if you're comparing him to me, come on, there's levels to the game. So I'll ask you, who has the better chops? Is it Gunther? Is it Ric Flair? Or, like Flair says, are there levels to that game? Now, a bit of an interesting update here when it comes to AEW and their use of LED boards around the ring. Over the last year or so, there have been a variety of changes to AEW production, as there will be with any company. Now, this is an interesting report from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. He's spoken about pyro adjustments, lighting from week to week, and the like. One of the adjustments on AEW TV for a while were the lack of LED aprons and barricades. Instead, the company reverted to the original methods of barricades and simpler ring aprons. However, with the new HBO Max TV deal that kicked in this year, those LED boards have returned. At Forbidden Door, a member of Fightful staff noted the difference in how wrestlers would take being thrown into them, and for good reason. According to Sean Ross Sapp, wrestlers say they suck to hit. Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp recently asked around about some of the changes and was told that the apron and barricade adjustments were for wrestler safety and audience reaction. There were a number of wrestlers that got banged up on the barricades and aprons, which are harder and stick out more than the standard. Talent and staff told Fightful that they much prefer the standard barricades but understand the visual need for the LED boards. Now, speaking of injuries, an update here on Mark Sterling. Recently, it was revealed that manager and occasional wrestler Smart Mark Sterling had sustained an injury. However, many wondered if the injury itself could be a work. Fightful Select say they were able to confirm that the torn biceps is in fact a legitimate injury, as well as a few more details. Now, Fightful were also able to learn that Smart Mark Sterling is undergoing surgery this Thursday to repair the injury. However, AEW/Ring of Honor are hopeful that he'll return to TV in a few weeks. He, of course, won't be cleared for physicality, but he will be able to perform. Obviously, wish him the best as he recovers from that injury. And finally, another match has been added to this Wednesday's edition of AEW Dynamite. The final Dynamite in their residency at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia will feature a Philadelphia street fight. Announced after Saturday's AEW Collision from the same venue, AEW Women's World Champion Timeless Toni Storm will take on Sky Blue in a non-title match. Storm issued the challenge on social media following Saturday's 8-woman tag team match that featured both competitors. A four-way title match for All Out was also made, featuring Storm, Tekla, Chris Statlander, and Jamie Hayter. Storm and Blue have wrestled 6 times against each other, dating back to March 2023, with Storm having a perfect 6-0 mark. Blue is looking for a first singles win since July of 2024. But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.